Ever since it dropped on Netflix, Umbrella Academy captivated audiences with its unique story, awesome visual effects, fascinating characters, and a family so dysfunctional they make Thanksgiving at my house seem mediocre.
Drop it. Squeeze me.
With a season 2 on the horizon, fans are counting down the minutes to find out the fate of the world after that dramatic season 1 cliffhanger. While what we see on screen makes us fall in love with the show, it's some of the magic that happens behind the scenes that really makes Umbrella Academy as impressive as it is. We'll take a look at some of the greatest behind the scenes moments within Umbrella Academy. So put on your mask, open up your umbrella, and join us on a lazy stroll through the rainy, dysfunctional world of Umbrella Academy. And be aware, spoilers lie within. One of the fan favorite characters came in the form of anthropomorphized family friend and confidant Pogo the chimp. Unlike most chimps who just scratch themselves and throw their feces around, Pogo is an advanced form with human-like intelligence, as well as the ability to speak English. The team at Netflix decided to use VFX to bring Pogo to life. Showrunner Steve Blackman and the rest of the production crew realized the importance of bringing Pogo to life due to being the paternal figure for the family, but they also realized that it was a scary thought getting it right. Originally, they debated using prosthetics, but decided to bring in Weta Digital to help with the monumental challenge, as Weta provided the CGI for Planet of the Apes, so it's safe to say they have experience in the ape world. Weta used a mixture of motion capture and scans, taking in some of the facial features of actor Adam Godley, as well as using 220 artists to help bring Pogo to life. Blackman said that the effects were vital for making Pogo work, as well as inspiring Godley's performance, who would imitate the muscle use and facial expressions of actual chimpanzees. The result is astonishing and really brings the character to life and endears himself to us, making, massive spoilers, his death at the end of season 1 even more tragic. It wasn't just the VFX for Pogo that proved tricky for the production team, with the series requiring a lot of tricky shots, including time being frozen, superpowers, and the moon exploding, most of which are somewhat outside of the production's budget, as blowing up the moon can be somewhat costly. A lot of green screen was required, especially with the scene of number one son Luther on the moon, with a mix of heavy green screen and wires used to make it look real. Another scene that proved tricky was when number 5 freezes time during the standoff with his hunters due to its rural location. In an interview with Art of VFX, special effects expert Everett Burrell admitted that it was a lot of hard work. As a lot of it was filmed on location, there were several things that were out of the production's control, including the sky, which is forever changing. This meant that a mixture of on-location and green screen shots were used, with the dialogue between number 5 and the handler taking place in front of a green screen, with the production team using a unique 3-strip look. That's a homage to the Technicolor effect used in the 30s as a way to blend in the green screen. While VFX was used for a majority of the shoot, there was the use of some practical effects, primarily with the huge body of Luther. When we talk about actors getting huge for a comic book part, we usually mean that they get in amazing shape following an arduous fitness routine and diet in order to look supersized. That wasn't the case with Luther. While at first he looks like your average strong man with huge muscles making his head look humorously disproportionate, we actually find out that his body is a human gorilla hybrid, an effect from an experimental serum administered to him when he was younger. As opposed to just alluding to his body, the series decided to show it in all its glory, especially in that bizarre rave scene, which I cannot wipe from my memory no matter how hard I try. With Luther being so much bigger than his family, the crew decided to build an ape suit in order to make it look realistic, with the original suit more in keeping with the costume and being more muscle-bound than stocky, but the suit still came with its drawbacks, with actor Tom Hopper finding it hot and uncomfortable in the suit, having to constantly stay hydrated, as well as it making it hard for Hopper to go to the bathroom, with the actor contemplating cutting a hole out of it in the backside. That would have been quite the look. One of the most memorable aspects of Umbrella Academy is its quirky aesthetics and unique color palette. Adjectives used for the king of quirk, film legend Wes Anderson. That's because it's no coincidence. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Ellen Page revealed that the stylishness of Wes Anderson, as well as Harold and mode director Hal Ashby, were the visual influences for the show. Page said that the absurdity and style of Anderson suited the themes of the show, although I don't remember human-like chimps and time travel ever appearing in an Anderson film, but parallels can be drawn between Umbrella Academy and Anderson's masterpiece is The Royal Tannenbaums, both of which focuses on a dysfunctional family centered around an estranged patriarch, while the schoolboy style of number 5 is very reminiscent of another Anderson film, Rushmore. Anderson's unique style is definitely suited for the comic book format with his use of wide frame, intense color, deep focus, and storybook format similar to that of a comic book or graphic novel. And now all I want is an Anderson-directed Avengers Endgame. One of the standout performers in Umbrella Academy is Mary J. Blige as Cha-Cha. Blige was so perfect for the part that she didn't even have to audition with her already knowing how to use guns, but apparently she did have to prepare in other ways. Blige made the decision to do her own stunts and learned martial arts in the lead up to the show, so her action scenes would look more realistic. Blige did go on to do a majority of her stunts, including her favorite scene, which was facing off against her 6'5" co-star Cameron Britton. Something for anyone who has seen Mindhunter will know is no easy feat, and Blige apparently really liked doing her own stunts. In an interview with Variety, she said that she told the cast and crew to not be afraid to punch or throw her, and had no issue hanging from wires or even pulling out glass from her face, although I imagine and hope that glass is fake. Although it did come with some downsides, with Blige saying that she would often come in sore as well as up at 6 a.m. in the morning every Saturday to work on her martial arts, which begs the question, people get up at 6? Aidan Gallagher, who plays number 5, wasn't allowed on set while a gun was going off. That's because while he may play a senior citizen trapped in the body of a teenager, the actor in real life actually is a teenager, with him being 15 at the time of shooting. This means that every time a gun is used around number 5, that is not actually him, but instead his stunt double. Cameron Britton revealed that, due to child working laws, he's not allowed to be in the building with a gun going off and had to be replaced with his stunt double. But Britton seemed to forget that he was working with a younger actor, with him saying that he was very impressed with his co-star and often forgot he was acting with a teenager. But unfortunately for Gallagher, the Ministry of Labor did not, because they never forget. As we mentioned earlier, Blige wasn't afraid to do her own stunts or prepare for the character, but she wasn't the only one, with co-star Ellen Page taking violin lessons for her part. Okay, it's not quite the same, but still. Page's character Vanya is a star violin player, and in an effort to make it look real and daunted by the prospect of having to play violin on screen, Page took violin lessons in order to learn. Although it wasn't exactly easy, with Page saying that it was one of the hardest things that she's ever had to do. Luckily for her, the production team were not relying just on her violin skills, with a 16-year-old violin prodigy double being used to fill in the harder scenes, which I imagine was quite a relief for Page. Hopper was the first to be cast and admitted that it was a long and drawn-out process for the rest of the casting, with him even being brought in for chemistry tests with other actors. Although he didn't meet co-star Emmy Raver Lampman, who plays number 3, until after she was cast. However, Aidan Gallagher was the last member to be cast, with showrunner Steve Blackman concerned that he would never find the right actor to play the part. Apparently, they went through hundreds of auditions until Aidan's tape finally landed on his desk, and Blackman instantly knew that he was perfect for the part. In fact, Gallagher seems destined for the part, as he was a fan of the comic books before signing onto the role. In fact, Gallagher studied the drawings of the character so he could get the posture just right. Now that is dedication. As you may know, Umbrella Academy was filmed in numerous locations in Canada, primarily Toronto and Hamilton, and if there's one thing to know about Canada, is that it gets very cold, eh? Which if you are Gallagher and stuck with wearing shorts, that can be brutal. The cast learned how cold it could get the hard way. During the funeral scene, the cast stand out vulnerable to the Canadian elements, as they stand out in light clothing in -10-degree weather. Yeah, no. To top it off, the production team then dumped ice-cold rain on them, which was required for the scene, leaving the cast very, very cold. It did serve well for their family dynamic, however, with them bonding while warming themselves around the space heaters. And while they were dysfunctional on screen, they were close because of it. I guess you can say they warmed to one another? Huh? Yeah? Okay, I'll let myself out. You know what? One more. As we start to wrap up this video, what could be a more perfect ending than talking about the last scene filmed in Umbrella Academy? In an interview with Brief Take, Emmy Raver Lampman stated that the last scene shot was the phone booth scene, which is not only a sweet and tender moment between Allison and Luther, but also is Emmy's favorite scene, as it led to the actors becoming best friends. Aw, come on. But it wasn't exactly easy, with the two actors having to be crammed into the tiny phone booth as the crew tried to beat the light. With the shoot taking place at 6 a.m., The crew had to rush to get the shot done before the sun came up, but thankfully, they pulled it off and managed to get it done in time. This wrapped up filming of the show and allowed BFFs Emmy and Tom to ride off into the sunrise together. I know it's meant to be sunset, but that just doesn't work in this situation.